I'm Connor, and today we are going to talk about how to talk to someone in English. Learning English can seem difficult, but don't worry, I'm here to help. In this podcast, we will make it easy. I want to help you speak English confidently. When we start learning English, we often feel nervous. We wonder if we will make mistakes. That's okay. Mistakes are part of learning. The most important thing is to try. Speaking to someone in English is the best way to improve. At first, you don't need to speak perfectly. The goal is to communicate. If you can share your idea, you are doing great. When you talk to someone, start with simple sentences. Use words that you know well. Don't worry about using big or difficult words. You can start a conversation with a greeting. For example, you can say hello or hi, how are you? These are common phrases in English. They help you begin a conversation. When someone asks you a question, don't be afraid to answer. If you don't know how to answer, try saying, I'm not sure. This shows that you are thinking about the question. It's okay to take your time. In the beginning, try to listen more than speak. Listening will help you learn how people talk. Pay attention to their words and pronunciation. This will help you use English in a natural way. It will also help you understand how to form your sentences. When you talk, try to use short sentences. Keep it simple. For example, you can say, I like coffee, or I don't understand. These are clear and easy to say. Avoid long, complicated sentences at first. As you practice more, your sentences will become longer and more complex. It's also important to practice pronunciation. Speak slowly at first. This will help you make fewer mistakes. It will also help the other person understand you. Over time, your speed will improve. If you don't understand something, don't be afraid to ask. You can say, can you repeat that? Or, what does that mean? Most people will be happy to help you. You should also practice speaking with others. You can talk to your friends, family, or even strangers. The more you speak, the more you will learn. It is important to talk often. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Every conversation is a chance to learn. English learners sometimes worry about grammar. They think they need perfect grammar to speak. This is not true. You don't need perfect grammar. What's important is that people understand you. Focus on getting your message across. Don't get stuck on grammar mistakes. You can also use body language when you speak. Gestures, facial expressions, and even your tone of voice can help you communicate. For example, if you are excited, you can show it by smiling or using your hands. These things can make your conversation better. Another way to improve is to read and listen to English. Watch English videos, listen to podcasts, read simple books or articles in English. The more you hear and see English, the easier it will be to use it when you talk. Remember, learning English takes time. You might feel frustrated sometimes, but don't give up. Keep practicing. The more you speak, the more confident you will become. Start with simple questions. You can ask, what is your name? Or, where are you from? These are basic and easy to understand. When you ask a question, the other person will usually answer with information. This is your chance to listen and learn. Don't worry if you don't know the answer right away. Take your time. Another good question is, how are you? This is a friendly way to start talking. Most people will answer with something like, I'm good, or I'm fine, thank you. This simple question can open many doors for conversation. It's also important to learn how to answer questions. If someone asks you, "What do you do?" you can answer with, "I am a student," or "I work at a store." Keep your answers short and simple. You don't need to say a lot at first. Just tell them the basic information. When you are ready, you can ask more detailed questions. For example, "What kind of music do you like?" Or, "Do you have any hobbies?" These types of questions help make the conversation interesting. They also show the other person that you are interested in them. Asking open-ended questions is another important skill. These are questions that need more than a yes or no answer. For example, instead of asking, "Do you like pizza?" ask, "What do you like to eat?" Or, "Why do you like pizza?" This will make the conversation last longer and give you more practice. Don't be afraid to ask for clarification if you don't understand something. If someone says something that you don't know, ask them, "Can you explain that?" Or, "What does that word mean?" Most people will be happy to help. Asking for clarification shows that you are interested in understanding them. Sometimes you may not know the right words to use. That's okay. You can say, "I don't know the word for that," or, "Can you help me with the word?" People will usually try to help you find the right words. The more you ask, the better you will get at it. When you ask questions, remember to listen carefully. After you ask a question, give the other person time to answer. Don't rush them. Listen to their answer, and then you can respond with your own thoughts. Listening is just as important as speaking. Also, pay attention to the tone of your voice. In English, your tone can show if you are happy, surprised, or curious. For example, if you ask, "Really?" with a surprised tone, it shows that you are interested in what the other person is saying. Sometimes it can be hard to think of questions during a conversation. If you get stuck, try asking about the person's day, job, or interests. Simple questions like, "What did you do today?" or "What do you like to do in your free time?" are good for keeping the conversation going. You can also talk about your own experiences. Share something about your day, your family, or your hobbies. This makes the conversation more balanced. It's not just about asking the other person questions, but also sharing your own ideas. This helps build a connection. Lastly, don't be afraid of silence. Sometimes there will be moments of silence in a conversation. This is normal. Just take a deep breath and think of something else to say. If you're not sure, you can always ask, "What else do you like to do?" Or, "How do you spend your weekend?" A simple question can get the conversation flowing again. Remember, practice makes perfect. The more you practice asking and answering questions, the easier it will become. Every conversation is a chance to learn more and improve your English. Using body language in English conversations. When you talk to someone in English, body language is very important. It helps you express your feelings and can make your message clearer. Even though we focus on words in language learning, gestures, facial expressions, and posture also help communicate meaning. For example, if you are happy, you might smile. This shows the other person that you are friendly and in a good mood. Smiling is a universal sign of happiness, and it makes the conversation more comfortable. You can use your face to show different emotions. If you are surprised, your eyes might get bigger. If you are sad, you might look down or have a sad face. These small changes can help others understand how you feel. When you talk, use your hands to help explain things. This is a good way to make the conversation more interesting. For example, if you are explaining something big, you can use your hands to show size. If you are talking about how something moves, you can use your hands to show the motion. Using your hands while speaking helps your words come to life and makes it easier for the other person to understand you. Another important thing is posture. When you sit or stand, try to keep your body open and relaxed. Don't cross your arms or legs too much. Crossing your arms can make you look closed off or uncomfortable. If you sit or stand with a relaxed posture, it makes you look more confident. Good posture can help you feel more confident too. When you feel good about your body language, it helps you speak better. Eye contact is also key when talking to someone. It shows that you are paying attention and that you care about what the other person is saying. But remember, you don't have to stare at them all the time. It's okay to look away for a moment. Just make sure to look at them when you speak, especially when you are listening to them. This helps to build a connection with the person you are talking to. When you are speaking, try to keep your voice clear. Don't speak too fast. Speaking slowly will help the other person understand you. If you speak too fast, it can make it harder for them to follow what you're saying. Also, don't be afraid to pause if you need to think. Pausing for a moment is fine. Gives you time to find the right words. Another tip is to watch the other person's body language. Pay attention to how they are reacting. If they smile, nod, or look interested, it shows that they are engaged in the conversation. If they look confused or tired, you might want to adjust how you speak or ask if they need clarification. Sometimes if you feel nervous or unsure, you might look down or avoid eye contact. This is natural, but it can make the conversation feel less comfortable. Try to relax your body and face. Take a deep breath. This will help you feel more at ease and make your body language more positive. In English conversations, it's also important to use your tone of voice to show how you feel. For example, if you are asking a question, your voice might go up at the end. If you are telling someone something important, you might use a stronger, clearer voice. The tone of your voice adds meaning to your words and helps the other person understand you better. Using body language and tone of voice together can help you communicate more clearly. It makes your message stronger and shows your emotions. Even if your English isn't perfect, using good body language and tone can help make your message clear. One last tip is to relax and be yourself. When you are relaxed, your body language is more natural. People will feel comfortable talking to you. If you feel nervous, take a deep breath and smile. It will help both you and the other person feel better during the conversation. Remember, body language is just one part of communication. It works together with your words. When you practice both, speaking and using body language, you will become better at having conversations in English. Keeping the conversation flowing. One of the easiest ways to keep a conversation going is by asking more questions. In the last episode, we learned how to ask basic questions. But now let's go deeper. For example, instead of asking, "What do you like?" try asking, "Why do you like that?" Or, "How did you start liking it?" These follow-up questions show that you are interested in what the person is saying, and they also help to keep the conversation flowing. You can also give your own opinions. For instance, if someone says, "I love swimming," you can reply with, "I think swimming is fun too," or, "I prefer running, but swimming is a good workout." By sharing your thoughts, you make the conversation more balanced, and it gives the other person a chance to ask you more questions or respond to your opinion. If you're talking about a specific topic, try to ask for details. For example, if someone says they like movies, you can ask, "What kind of movies do you like?" Or, "What's your favorite movie?" This invites the other person to share more and it keeps the conversation from getting stuck. Another way to keep a conversation going is to talk about your own experiences. Sharing your own story makes the conversation feel more natural. For example, if someone talks about traveling, you can say, "I went to the beach last summer. It was amazing. Have you ever been to the beach?" This gives the other person something to respond to and keeps the conversation alive. It's also important to be aware of the other person's reactions. If they seem excited or interested in a topic, keep talking about it. But if they seem bored or distracted, try changing the subject. You can say, "Oh, I just remembered something. Have you ever tried a different topic?" This helps the conversation stay fresh and interesting. Another tip is to use filler words when you are thinking of what to say next. Words like "well," or "let me think" can give you a little extra time to gather your thoughts without making the conversation awkward. Just make sure not to overuse them. If you ever get stuck or don't know what to say next, it's okay to be honest. You can say, "I'm not sure what to say now," or "What do you think?" People appreciate honesty, and it helps to keep things relaxed. Most of the time, the other person will continue talking, and you'll find a new topic to discuss. Don't forget to show interest in the other person's answers. If they say something interesting, you can say things like, "Wow, that's cool," or "Tell me more." This shows that you care about what they are saying and keeps them engaged in the conversation. One of the biggest challenges when learning English is finding the right words. But don't let this stop you. If you forget a word, you can explain it in another way. For example, if you want to talk about a car, but you can't remember the word, you can say, "It's a vehicle that takes people from one place to another." The other person will understand, and you'll feel more confident using English. If the conversation gets quiet, don't be afraid of silence. A brief pause can give both of you time to think of something new to say. Don't feel like you have to talk all the time. Just enjoy the moment and the chance to practice. Another great way to keep the conversation going is to share news or interesting things you've learned. For example, "Did you hear about the new movie coming out next week?" Or, "I just read an interesting article about a topic." Sharing new information gives the conversation direction and can spark more questions and answers. Humor can also be a good way to keep a conversation lively. If something funny happens, feel free to laugh and share it. Just make sure the humor is appropriate and fits the situation. A good laugh can make everyone feel more comfortable. Sometimes you can even change the direction of the conversation. If the topic starts to feel boring or repetitive, you can say, "Let's talk about something else." This can refresh the conversation and make it more interesting for both of you. In some cases, it's okay to end the conversation if you feel like it's running out of things to talk about. You can say, "It was great talking to you. Let's talk again soon." Ending on a positive note is important. It leaves the other person with a good impression, and it gives both of you the chance to start a new conversation next time. The key to keeping a conversation going in English is to be interested, curious, and willing to share. The more you practice, the easier it will get. Every conversation is a chance to improve and learn. Embracing mistakes in English speaking. I want to help you feel confident when you make mistakes while speaking English. First, it's important to understand that making mistakes is okay. No one speaks perfectly all the time, and even native speakers make mistakes. What matters most is that you try. Each mistake you make helps you learn and get better. If you make a mistake while speaking, don't worry. You can keep going. If you realize that you said something wrong, you can quickly correct yourself. For example, if you say, I can goes to the store, you can just stop and say, oh, I can go to the store. Don't feel embarrassed about it. Most people will understand that you are learning and will appreciate your effort. Sometimes if you don't know the right word, you can use a different word to explain your idea. For example, if you want to talk about a phone but you forget the word, you can say, it's something I use to call people, or it's a device for talking. This is a great way to keep the conversation going even if you don't know the exact word. Another way to handle mistakes is to ask the person you are talking to for help. If you don't know a word or a phrase, you can say, what's the word for this? Or, how do you say this in English? People will usually be happy to help you. Asking for help shows that you are eager to learn. Sometimes when you make a mistake, the other person might not understand what you are saying. If this happens, don't panic. You can simply say, sorry, let me try again, or, can I say that in another way? This shows that you are trying to fix the mistake, and it gives you another chance to explain. Another important tip is not to get discouraged. If you make a mistake, just keep going. If the person you're speaking with understands you, that's all that matters. They won't judge you for a small mistake. Most people will appreciate your effort to speak their language. If you are worried about making mistakes, it can help to practice before talking. You can practice in front of a mirror, record yourself, or talk to a friend. This can help you feel more confident. When you practice, you will make fewer mistakes, and over time you will feel more comfortable speaking. It's also helpful to learn from your mistakes. If someone corrects you, pay attention to what they say. Try to remember the right way to say it next time. For example, if someone corrects your pronunciation, repeat the word until you feel comfortable saying it correctly. The more you practice, the fewer mistakes you will make. Mistakes are also a great way to learn new things. When you make a mistake and someone corrects you, it's a chance to learn something new. You can use that knowledge the next time you speak. So instead of being afraid of mistakes, see them as learning opportunities. If you ever feel embarrassed, remember that everyone makes mistakes, even native speakers. They might not always show it, but they make mistakes too. The more you speak, the less you will worry about mistakes. The goal is communication, not perfection. When speaking English, it's also important to stay calm and relaxed. If you feel nervous, your mistakes might become bigger. Take a deep breath and remind yourself that you are doing great. Everyone makes mistakes, and the more you speak, the better you'll get. So don't be afraid of making them. One of the most important things is to keep a positive attitude. Mistakes can be frustrating, but don't let them stop you. If you make a mistake, smile and keep going. You are doing something amazing by learning a new language. Every time you speak, you improve. Keep practicing, and over time you'll make fewer mistakes. In the next episode, we'll talk about how to improve your listening skills. Listening is just as important as speaking, and it can help you become more confident when having conversations.